Okay, let me ask you something. What do you think a tiny living cell, a speeding bullet, and our entire planet all have in common? It sounds like a riddle, right? But the answer is they all follow a set of fundamental rules. And today, we're going to take a quick journey to uncover exactly what those rules are. We'll start with the secret of life itself and go all the way up to the forces that shape our whole world. So, that's the big question, isn't it? What rules does our world actually run on? Well, the most basic, the most fundamental rule of all is just survival. Yep. Before we get into anything else, we've got to look at the incredible, ingenious ways that life has figured out how to just, well, keep on existing. So, what is this big secret to life? It's not really one single thing. It's more like a strategy, a master plan for surviving in just about any environment you can imagine, from a scorching hot desert to the crushing, dark depths of the ocean. I mean, think about it. How can anything possibly survive in places like that? The answer isn't about being bigger or stronger. Nope. It's a special kind of superpower that's been perfected over millions and millions of years of evolution. And that superpower has a name: adaptation. Honestly, you can think of it as the master key to survival. It's got nothing to do with being the strongest or the fastest. It's all about being a perfect fit for where you live. I mean, just look at the camel. It's the perfect example of adaptation in action. It's like a masterpiece of desert engineering, right? Those long legs, they keep its body way up high, far from that sizzling hot sand. And its whole body is basically designed to hang on to every single drop of water. It's the ultimate desert survivalist. Now let's go to a completely different world, underwater. A fish has an equally brilliant set of tools, but they're totally different. Its body is streamlined to just slice right through the water. It's got fins and a tail for steering and balance. And maybe the most amazing part, gills that can pull oxygen directly out of the water. So you see, two totally different environments, two perfectly adapted survivors. Okay, so we've seen how life adapts to the world around it. But what are the rules of that physical world? Let's zoom out a bit. We're going to go from looking at a single living thing to exploring the fundamental laws that control how everything moves and how we see things, whether they're alive or not. Now, when it comes to us humans, our adaptation is a little different. It's not just biological, it's technological. We weren't happy with just walking around, were we? Nope. We invented the wheel. We figured out how to use animals to get around. And eventually, we even defied gravity and learned to fly. Every single one of those inventions completely changed our world. But let's back up for a second. What even is motion when you really get down to it? It's actually a pretty simple idea. It's just when something changes its position over a period of time. That's it. But that one simple idea governs absolutely everything, from kicking a soccer ball to the way planets orbit the sun. And you know what? We see this concept show up in three main patterns all around us. First, you've got linear motion. That's just moving in a straight line. Then there's circular motion, like the hands on a clock going around. And finally, periodic motion, which is just something repeating itself over and over, like a pendulum swinging. Straight, around, or back and forth. Pretty much all movement fits into one of those. All right, so we've got rules for how things move, but there are also rules for light. And believe it or not, they're even simpler. Here's the most important one you need to remember. Light always, and I mean always, travels in a straight line. And hey, this isn't just some abstract theory. It's something you can prove really easily. Try looking at a candle flame through a straight pipe. You'll see it, no problem. But then try bending that pipe just a little bit. Poof, the flame is gone. Why? Because you've just blocked the straight path that the light needs to travel to get to your eye. It's a super simple rule, but it has huge implications for how we see the world. Okay, so we've got the rules for the light that we can see, but what about all the powerful forces that we can't see? Well, for that, let's dive into the invisible world of electricity and magnetism. A lot of the time, our journey with electricity starts with something like this, an electric cell. The best way to think about it is like a teeny tiny power plant. It takes stored chemical energy and turns it into electrical energy. And the most important thing to notice is that it always has two ends or terminals, a positive one and a negative one. And those two terminals are the whole secret to making an electric circuit. See, when you connect the positive end and the negative end of the cell to something like a light bulb using wires, you create a complete, unbroken loop. That loop is what allows the electric current to flow all the way around, and that's what makes the bulb light up. Now here's a cool thing. Not every material treats electricity the same way. Some materials, called conductors, think of metals, are like wide open superhighways for electricity. The current can just zoom right through. But other materials, called insulators, like rubber or plastic, are total roadblocks. They stop the current dead in its tracks. And that difference, by the way, is exactly why we can safely handle all our electrical gadgets.
And then there's magnetism, which has this fantastic origin story. The legend goes that it was discovered completely by accident by a shepherd in ancient Greece named Magnus. The story says the iron nails in his shoes and the metal tip of his staff suddenly got stuck to this weird black rock. He had literally stumbled upon a lodestone, a natural magnet, and uncovered another one of nature's incredible invisible forces.
So think about it. All these rules we've been talking about, from how life survives to the laws of physics to electricity, they all play out on one giant stage, our planet. And that stage is pretty much defined by two absolutely essential things that make everything else possible: water and air. Just take a look at that number for a second. 2/3. That is how much of our planet's surface is covered by water. It's why they call it the blue marble, right? And this incredible amount of water shapes literally everything: our weather, our climate, our very existence. And all that water isn't just sitting still. It's constantly moving in this massive planet-sized engine that we call the water cycle. Basically, the sun heats it up and lifts it into the sky as vapor. Then it cools down and forms clouds, and then it falls back down to Earth as rain or snow. It's this amazing, endless journey that keeps all life going. And what about the air we're breathing, right this second? It's just as important, and it's also a mixture of different gases. Now here's something that surprises a lot of people. It's not mostly oxygen, not even close. About 4/5 of the air around us is actually nitrogen. Oxygen, the gas we absolutely need to survive, only makes up about 1/5 of it. So, we've taken this incredible journey, right? All the way from a single living thing, through the basic laws of physics, to the very water and air of our planet. And that brings us to our final and maybe our most important stop: our own impact and our responsibility to this world. And you know, that huge idea of responsibility can start with a really simple choice we make every day at the garbage bin. That blue bin, that's for all the stuff we can give a second life to, things like plastics, metals, and glass. And the green bin, well, that's for kitchen scraps and yard waste, the stuff that lets nature's own recycling system do its thing and turn it all back into soil. Which really brings us to a final and pretty critical question. We have learned to master the rules of our world, haven't we? We've used chemistry and physics to create some incredible things, like plastic. But here's the thing. In all our cleverness, did we maybe forget one of nature's most fundamental rules? The rule that says everything needs to have a place in the cycle of life. So, is plastic our greatest invention or our biggest mistake? That right there is the challenge we all have to face now. And it's definitely something to think about.